Look closely at your garden. It is not just an empty backdrop, but a thriving, ancient ecosystem filled with busy blue tits, foraging squirrels, and hidden dramas. When you step into this world, you probably think the connection you build with it is based on human emotion. You think that when a robin finally lands near your feet, it is because it feels trust. But in reality, your robin does not feel trust. It measures it in strict mathematical meters. Right now, every wild bird in your garden has an exact number for you. That number is called the flight initiation distance, the precise distance it needs to keep before it feels safe. Today, I am going to show you the exact 5 stages of how long it takes a wild robin to close that gap and truly trust you. I will give you a timeline for each stage. By the end of this video, you will not only know how to bridge that mathematical distance, but you will finally see your entire garden through the eyes of the creatures that rule it. Let me start at the very beginning. Stage 1, the stranger. This is where every relationship between a human and a wild robin begins. Your flight initiation distance at this stage is somewhere between 8 and 12 meters. Let that settle for a moment. 8 to 12 meters is roughly the length of 3 parked cars. That is how far away you need to be before your robin registers you as not worth paying attention to. Come closer than that, and something in the bird's nervous system triggers. Not a conscious thought. An ancient, instinctive calculation. Something large and unknown has entered the zone. Escape probability begins dropping. The decision to fly becomes more likely, and within 2 to 4 seconds, it is gone. You have done nothing wrong. There is no mistake to correct here. This is not about you yet. At stage 1, you are a category, not a person. You are large unknown mammal. That is all. Your robin does not dislike you. It has simply never had enough data to decide anything else. And the only thing that generates that data is time spent in proximity without incident. The clock for stage 2 starts the first day you are consistently present and consistently non-threatening. Not once, consistently. Stage 2, the background. You have been in the garden regularly for 1 to 2 weeks now. Same approximate times, same general areas, no sudden movements toward the bird, no attempts to approach it. Something has started to shift. This process has a name in neuroscience and animal behavior. It is called habituation. It is not learning in the traditional sense. It is unlearning a response. The first time your robin saw you, every appearance of you triggered a monitoring response. It watched, it calculated, it stayed ready. But you kept appearing, and nothing bad ever followed your appearance. No capture, no alarm, no threat materializing. And so the nervous system, which is designed to be efficient, began to reduce the response. The calculation was updated. Large unknown mammal reclassified to recurring, but apparently harmless element. Your flight initiation distance drops to roughly 5 meters. That is still a significant distance. You are not close yet. But you have done something important. You have moved from unknown to known. You are no longer a category. You are a specific, recurring presence in the landscape your robin manages. And in stage 3, that distinction starts to matter a great deal. Stage 3, the observer. Somewhere in the 2nd to 4th week, something new begins to happen. Your robin does not just tolerate your presence. It starts to watch you, not with alarm, with attention. You will notice this when you begin gardening, and the bird appears on a nearby branch within a few minutes. Not to feed, not to sing, just to observe what you are doing. This is associative learning. The bird has begun to connect your behavior, specifically the movement of soil and turning of ground, with the appearance of invertebrates. Your digging disturbs the earth. Earthworms and beetle larvae come to the surface. Your robin has noticed this pattern, and it has registered you as a variable it can track for potential gain. Flight initiation distance at this stage has dropped to around 2 meters. You are close. Not close enough yet, but close enough for the bird to be making very precise assessments about you. It watches the way you move, the predictability of your pace. Whether you look at it directly, whether you ever make a sudden lunge in its direction, and every session in the garden where none of those things happen, the assessment is updated. This one continues to be safe to be near. Stage 3 is where patience determines everything. The people who reach stage 4 are almost always the ones who did nothing dramatic in stage 3. They did not try to offer food by hand. They did not attempt to move closer. They simply continued to be a reliable, unthreatening presence. And then one morning, the distance closed on its own. But before I describe stage 4, I want you to understand what stage 4 feels like to a robin. It is not warmth. It is not affection in the way we mean the word. It is something more precise, and in some ways, more profound. Stage 4, the companion. This stage arrives somewhere in the 1st to 2nd month of consistent presence, and it arrives without announcement. You are in the garden, doing something ordinary, and you realize the robin is much closer than it has ever been before, within a meter, sometimes less, and it is not watching you with alert eyes. It is not monitoring you from the fence. It is simply there, going about its own business, in a space that is also yours. The technical term for what has happened is that your minimum approach distance has been reached. The minimum approach distance is the threshold at which a bird can no longer be disturbed from normal behavior by a human presence. Below that threshold, your presence does not interrupt feeding, does not halt song, does not stop the bird from grooming or resting. You are no longer a variable in the robin's calculation. You are part of the environment, and this is the stage at which you will hear the trust song, a quiet, unhurried vocalization made from very close range, while the bird shows no intention of leaving. If you know that sound, you will recognize it immediately when it happens. And if you have not heard that sound yet, or if you want to know exactly what it sounds like and what it means that your robin is making it, the second video in this series explains it in full detail. The link is at the end of this video. But stage 4, as extraordinary as it is still not the final stage. Stage 5, the choice. Stage 5 is different from everything that came before. In the first 4 stages, the process was largely shaped by you, your consistency, your patience, your restraint. But stage 5 belongs to the robin. This is the stage that cannot be engineered. It cannot be hurried with a better feeder or a calmer approach. At this stage, the robin begins to actively seek you out, not at feeding time, not when you are gardening near where it feeds. It finds you. You sit down in a chair at a part of the garden where you do not usually sit, and the robin follows. You stand at the kitchen window, and it appears on the sill. You are doing something irrelevant to food and shelter, and the bird positions itself near you anyway. This is behavior that researchers studying bird personality describe as bold social affiliation. Some robins have a personality type that is measurably more exploratory, more willing to reduce distances, more likely to initiate proximity. A bolder robin may reach stage 5 in 3 to 4 weeks. A more cautious individual may take 3 to 4 months. And there is no technique to accelerate it beyond what you have already done. The decision in stage 5 is not yours to make. It is the bird's. And when it makes that decision, when it chooses to be near you not for food, not for safety, but for something that has no efficient biological explanation, you will feel the weight of it. It is, in every meaningful sense, a gift. So here is the answer to how long it takes a robin to trust you. Stage 1 to stage 2 takes between 1 and 2 weeks of consistent presence. Stage 2 to stage 3 takes another 1 to 3 weeks, depending on the individual bird. Stage 3 to stage 4 typically arrives somewhere in the 1st to 2nd month, and stage 5 may come in weeks, or it may take a full season. The only thing that shortens the timeline is showing up, being quiet, and not asking for more than the bird is ready to give. And then, one ordinary morning, something extraordinary happens on its own. Now, if you are still at stage 1 or 2, it may not be only a matter of time. Sometimes a robin stays distant because something in the garden is still telling it not to come closer. The 5 things that most commonly cause that, and how to fix each one, are in the first video in this series. It is right here. And when you reach stage 4, and you hear that first quiet song from very close range, you will want to know what it means. That is the second video, also here on screen. If this robin sounds familiar, if this story feels like yours, subscribe to the Robin Files, a new story every week.